Okay, bit of a different video from us this week. As you can see, I've called in a refrigeration engineer who I happen to be married to and lives here. Our fridge has been playing up. We thought we'd just go through whether or not it's feasible to call someone out to fix your domestic fridge. What could potentially be wrong with it? What sort of fees you might be looking at to pay this person, because of course buying a new fridge is not a cheap endeavour. So what's been happening with ours is that randomly in the middle of the night it starts beeping at me, which is awesome. Normally it only beeps when it's open, when one of the kids has left it open, but it's not open. It's just been randomly beeping, and then it's basically just shut down, hasn't it? And it's taken ages to get back up to temp.
Well, it's never gotten back up to temp.
I've completely unpacked it. We've got all our stuff in chili bins, unplugged it, let it completely defrost, and here's the guy who knows the technical stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like it'd be running short of gas, so when it's running short of gas you don't want to suck in contaminants because that can make the compressor go pop. So I'm going to open it up, see if I can find a gas leak and repair it, but luckily this is a really old fridge and it's on...
It's about 14 years.
Yeah, but...
So old by today's standards.
Yeah, and it's on the old type of gas, which I actually have half a jug from when I was in business years ago still floating around in the shed, so I'm going to hopefully find it and repair it, but just my time today just to do this.
We might actually time it.
Yeah.
We should time how long Clint spends doing on it.
10:50. Yeah.
Yeah, add an hour on for travelling.
Yeah, add an hour on for travelling.
Because they'll charge you for that. It's worth our while because obviously I'm not paying him. Sorry, I'm not paying you. Not sure if you got that memo.
Anyway, yeah. If you had like a heat pump, because I do heat pumps all the time, if it's 10 years old, you know, we can change I've changed the board and a fan motor because this person wanted a 12-year-old thing fixed, and it ran fine for 6 months, and then the indoor fan motor and board blew up, and that was another $700-800. And then if you're taking them both into account, she would have been better to pay $2,000 to get a replacement new one, and she'd have a 6-year warranty with it, you know. And so you just can't guarantee it's going to keep going. Yeah, you get my drift. It's going to be leaking anywhere. I reckon it's going to be leaking in here. Oh, there goes the temperature probe, right there. It's all Bundy tubing. No!
It's not a little alien on a bicycle.
No. Is that what you thought it was?
I was hoping.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Oh, thanks, Sharon.
That would explain where the food vanished.
No, children not. Yeah, so it's certainly not a block drain. Look at that little fan.
The polystyrene's starting to...
Oh, that's no biggie, it's just a mess. I am hoping, beyond hope, that the leak is on this part. But I don't think it is. I'll be in here somewhere.
What's that?
This is an electronic leak tester. I'm hoping there's still enough gas in there for me to find a leak. Really small, probably won't get it. Ooh.
Oh.
That's where it's leaking.
So it's this big blue.
This should hopefully make it bubble up. And we'll see where the gas leak is. I might have to put a bit more go juice in it because that will pick up that small gas leak. Big bit is basically just soap, so right, let's give that a minute. There it is, right there. Right there, can you see it?
being pulled out. What's happening?
This is a temporary line tap valve I'm going to put on. It would have been so much cheaper and easier if when these things had been built they just stuck an access port on, but it costs like $2 to buy an access port for them, and that's just $2 too much. Now you'd figure spending a couple of grand on these you should be able to service it, but they don't. So,
by the way, always prepare for a shock when you pull your fridge out, because not only spiders webs, but yeah, I'm going to clean there. Let's just not look. Let's blur that bit for now.
okay, you've lit.
Put up a big censored sign.
So how come when I muck up it doesn't get censored, but when you muck up it
What do you mean when I muck up? Who pulls their fridge out and mops under it? Don't answer that if you do.
Your mum.
And what are those?
Gauges, they tell me how much gas is left in here.
Very good. I already knew that for the record, you know. I'm asking for the people,
Oh, okay.
you know.
It's saying it's 5 degrees. It's not. It would be what, 20 degrees in here at the moment, about? So we're not sure.
Not quite, but
even
yeah.
in sitting, even with sitting pressure, that's short. If you do get a service check like the fridge out, the you think, my God, why do they charge so much? Things that you got to take in, you know, just for your knowledge. These gauges here cost about $400, $300 to $400. This here is about $800.
What, the,
Just this gauge.
oh, just that little knobby thing. Oh, the robot
gauge.
face.
This robot face, yep.
Yeah, okay.
And the electric leak tester I was just using, that's a $1,200 device that I had to pay for, so yeah.
Gee.
And I mean, depending on how many call-outs and how often you use it, you know, you great debate, do you rack it all up in an hourly rate or do you charge for each individual item used? So here's holding this thing on, so just removing the heaters from the coil, just leaking.
Dun, 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 dun. Right, the most technical way of checking for leaks. I actually just cleaned that floor and Clint's gone and made a mess on it again.
Yep, so I do.
Look at that. Come on, tradies. Rough as guts, I tell you.
There we go. 298, so it's under 300 microns. I'm
That's
happy
a
with
good
that.
thing, is it? Okay.
It's a good thing. I'm just going to quickly back out that line. Alright, let's turn this thing on and see what happens, shall we? Alright, it's dropped 1 degree.
Bye.
Let's just give it a bit of time, let it running for 5-10 minutes.
So, introducing my new fridge. Clint, he found a leak, he fixed the leak, but it still didn't resolve the issue. So obviously we did have a gas leak, but there was other stuff going on, and the thing is, the next step would have been to actually start buying parts for it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because I normally don't work on domestic fridges, I'm more commercial, so yeah.
And once you add up the cost of then getting new parts and stuff and how much longer is the fridge going to last, yeah, it just makes sense to buy a new one, basically.
Yeah.
But I did a bit of maths because I care. This is a very sort of average as of this day type rate. The average fridgie will charge out about $80 an hour, give or take. Clint worked on the unit for 3.5 hours, so that would have been $280 all up just for his time, plus an hour for travel. So that would have been at least $398. sorry, that also includes $29 for the gas. Now, if it was, so $398, that's if it had just been booked in during working hours. Now, if it was like an after hours call out, you want to look at about $120 on top of that. So then we were looking at $509. Now, that time was only the time he spent working on the unit. It will be up to the Friggy and their company, I suppose, as to whether they charge for the time it was left on vac, which was about 5 hours.
Yeah.
Now, I gather some Friggies actually take parts away, don't they, with them?
I used to work on domestic fridges like a decade and a half ago, and we used to try and take them back to the workshop if they needed to be vacked out, because A, we don't like standing around for ages waiting for a vac pump to
in someone's house.
And like, you know, you're charging me. So what we'd do is we'd line up 6 of them on the bench and we'd vac them all out at once, so we could split the time across each bill rather than what everyone with a great big bill. And the other thing is, I didn't actually change the dryer on this, which I probably should have, I mean on the old one, which I probably should have done that. And normally I'd have a high side port on, which would cut the vac time in half as well. And most commercial fridges have a high and low side gauge on, access port on it. And trying to, yeah, it just cuts the vac time in half, so yeah.
Right, so there we go. I mean, if we had been charged for the whole 5 hour vac, I mean, that would have been $789 on a normal day. If it was a call out, $909. So you can see, and it depends a lot on, I mean, if you change the dryer, that would have been more expense for the average person, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would have been, you know, $15, $20 for a little core dryer, and you know.
Yeah, so it can blow up. So I don't know if there is a moral to this. It's just letting you know how much you could expect to be paying if you get someone out for a domestic fridge that's, say, over 10 years old.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it would, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing you could hope for is, if it's a cheap domestic fridge, you open up, oh, it's a bucket thermostat, they're $60, you can change them in 25 minutes and you're out the door and gone. Yeah. Then it's worth it. If it's anything more than a thermostat, generally they're not worth mucking around with. Yeah. Because they're not really made to be repaired. So
yeah, they want more cha-ching. So there we go. Hopefully that was helpful. As I say, a bit of a detour from my usual videos, but
maybe a bit of insight.
Yeah.
You know.
There we go. Hit like, leave us a comment, subscribe.
Yep.
And we'll catch you later.